Hello there, it's Ed Moses. Welcome to Project Mindset. You know, I just heard something today that really, I know this resonates with a lot of people. Have you ever heard the term, I'm tired of being stuck? I am sick and tired of being stuck. And I know this resonates with a lot of people because I've been there and I've done that. I know what that feeling is, and it's got to be one of the craziest, worst feelings that you can have, because you really feel alone when you're in that stuck position. You feel helpless, you feel alone, and it's like, what can I do to change this? What can I do to make this work out? And usually when you're in that stuck position, you are in a position where on a mental level you're very negative. You've got a lot of negative things going on in your head. And you know, in my case, it had to do with the job I hated. I worked with a company that just there's so much negativity within the walls of the office. It just, people were struggling against each other, trying to get out of doing whatever they could, trying to make, you know, point the finger at other people, trying to make them look like the bad guy, bad woman, whatever. And it reached a point where it's like, you know what, I can't do this anymore. I'd come home, I'd be like, my mind would just be like struggling, trying to get past what had happened that day, and it would be like, you know, I can't take it anymore. I can't do this anymore. And you know, it finally hit a wall where it's like, you know, I've got to do something about this. But you know, the bad thing about it was this: I had limiting beliefs, and that's what this being stuck really amounts to. It's a limiting belief. You have a limiting belief that for some reason you can't do anything to get out of this situation. There is a belief that you have in your head that's telling you, this is it, I'm stuck. You know, but the bottom line is it's something that you can get over. You can get around it. You can get over it. It's not... You may be stuck now, but it doesn't mean it's a permanent stick. Here's what happened to me. My limiting belief, and I know this will resonate with a lot of people, my limiting belief had to do with money. I thought to myself, if I quit this job that I hate, I will not have enough money to pay my bills. I will lose my house. I will lose my car. I will lose so much. You know, I worked my tail off for this stuff, and if I quit this job, I'm going to lose all this stuff. That was my limiting belief. I did not have the faith in myself that I could actually do something other than what I was already doing, because I felt stuck in this job that I hated. And I had to stop and ask myself, why would I feel that this is all there is for me? Why would I have a belief that there is nothing more for me than this? What would make me believe something like this? That I am so limited. And it's not true. You know, I wasn't limited. I believed I was limited, but I wasn't limited. And essentially what I had to do was dissect it and try to understand what it was that made me feel so limited to having a job that I had no interest in. And when it came right down to it, that's what it was. I was afraid that I would not have enough money to stay above water. I thought that my ship would sink. And I know that a lot of people in that boat, they're probably thinking that right now. I couldn't quit my job. I have all this and that I have to pay, and people you know, that I'm obligated to, and you know, I understand that. But you know, finally one day I said, you know, I've taken all this energy, this emotional energy, and I am pouring it into something that I have no interest in, something I hate, and it's tearing me up, making me old. And one day I woke up and I said, this energy that I am putting into this job I hate, I could take the same energy and put it into something I like to do. And that's when I became an entrepreneur. I always had a home business. I always struggled trying to make it work. And one day, it dawned on me that I'm spending all my energy at this job, and by the time I get to my home business, I'm drained. My mind isn't in the right mindset to do what needs to be done. Physically I was not tired. I'm a runner, I can take a lot, but on a mental level I was tired. By the time I got to my home business, it's like, I'm drained. I really don't know what I want to do with it tonight. I was running out of ideas because I was spent. My imagination was spent doing something I didn't want to do. It was actually killing my imagination. That's what I realized, and people, you got to understand something. The imagination is there for a reason. The imagination is there because there is something that you're good at, something that you're creative at, and if you don't take advantage of what you have, this creativity that's built into you, and you spend all your time doing something that you hate, this creativity will die. I remember back when I was a little kid in school, and I was a daydreamer. I'm still a daydreamer, but back then I would daydream. I'd be sitting in class, and what the teacher was talking about, I just wasn't listening. I was thinking about a lot of other things. Just my mind would go 100 miles an hour on all kinds of stuff I'd like to make. I remember one time I was sitting in class thinking about how I could build my own lute. If you don't know what a lute is, it's a stringed instrument that's it's similar to a guitar, except it's got a round back on it, so it resonates a little differently, gives it a very classical acoustical sound, and it's a Baroque period instrument. But anyway, I had this idea in my mind. I remember one day going out into the woods trying to find wood so that I could build this lute, because I didn't really understand how it was built. I thought it was actually dug out of a shell of a big round stump of wood or something, and now I realize it's not. It's totally not made that way. But at the time, that's how I thought it was made. So anyway, my imagination was great. I had all this cool stuff going through my head, so I never paid attention in class. But there's a reason you have an imagination. There's a reason that you're good at certain things. And because you are good at these certain things, you should never put these things aside and say, well, I'll get to them some other day. I did that. And you know what? That's the biggest mistake I ever did in my life, is not to be who I really am, and what I have passion for. And I've always been an artistic person, creative. I've always been able to come up with things. I build things. I don't know if the camera is shooting up high enough, but there's things all around this house I built myself. I hand make things out of wood. But getting back to what I'm getting at here, though, too many of us, we get this stuck feeling, and it's really, we're stuck because we're in a position in life that we don't belong in. We don't want to be there. And it's time to move on. It's time to find something else. It's time to get past that lousy belief system that's put a fear in your system. Fear. False evidence appearing real. And that is true, because it goes right back to when I talk about the conscious versus the subconscious mind. The conscious mind, all it can do is predict things based on what's already happened in the past. It cannot predict the future. It can't. The subconscious mind is there to create the future. So you've got to somehow split and say, okay, conscious mind, let the subconscious mind do its thing. I can't predict what's going to happen because it hasn't happened. Therefore, you don't know what's going to happen. But if you put yourself in a positive energy, a positive state, and know with beyond the shadow of the doubt that you can do whatever it is and actually start living as if it's already happened. You can create or manifest anything you want in life. Anything at all. You can create or manifest that. What I'd like you to do now is take a look at the blog I just put together. I'm on an awesome new format called the Blog Beast, and if you haven't seen that, it is the #1 blog as far as I'm concerned. It's the best blog site. It blows everything away. So take a look at my blog, read what I've got to say to you. Maybe you can resonate with that. Maybe you know where I'm coming from, because I'm telling you, there's more to life than being stuck. You don't have to be stuck. You can change your life, but you got to want to change your life, and you got to believe you can do it. And read my blog, and I think you'll get the point where I'm coming from with this. And if you can see where I'm coming from, what I'd like you to do is take a moment and join my team, Project Mindset, because I'm out to make a difference. I'm out to change people's lives, because I'm telling you, you don't have to be unhappy. You don't have to do what you don't want to do anymore. You never did. It's just that you have a belief system that told you you did. And you just got to get past it and believe in yourself. Believe in the subconscious. You know, you can do anything you put your mind to. And believe that. Believe the creativity that you have. It's something that nobody can take away from you. And if you just keep building on it, you never know where you're going to end up. So, hey, thanks for watching this video. I really enjoyed making it for you. And I hope I inspired you and found some way to help you make a change in your life. I'll talk with you later. See you in the next video. Bye now.